Good morning. I'm calling this meeting to order. This is Dr. Jennifer Jones, Board President. First item on the agenda is roll call. Director Davis, will you start?
Davis, Director, District 4.
Eric Gollings, Director, District 1.
Jennifer Jones, Director, District 2.
Lakeisha Phillips, Director, District 3.
Okay,
Pfeiffer, Superintendent.
thank you. Next is the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise if you are able. I pledge allegiance You may be seated. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the meeting agenda. At this time, we'll entertain a motion.
I move that the Board of Education approve the meeting agenda of July 28th, 2026 as submitted.
I have a motion. Do I hear a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the required approvals agenda. At this time, we'll entertain a motion.
I move that the Board of Education approve the required approvals agenda of July 28th, 2026 as submitted.
I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the introduction of new administrative staff. Dr. Pfeiffer.
Absolutely. Hello, board team. It's nice to see you for our July board meeting. I hope all of you are enjoying getting glimpses of summer and relaxation with friends and family. I have the honor of, on my behalf, Jessica Morgan, introducing some of our new staff. And as you know, the third pillar of our strategic plan focuses on the importance of attracting, developing, and retaining talented and committed staff in every part of our school system so that we have the most highly qualified and skilled individuals teaching, leading, and working in Federal Way for our students. And this morning, it's an honor for us to introduce several members of our team that are the exact talent we strive to attract and retain. So I'm going to ask Jessica Morgan, our Chief Communications, to do these introductions on my behalf. Jessica.
Good morning, Board President, Dr. Jones, members of the board, and Superintendent Dr. Pfeiffer. It is my pleasure to introduce new administrative leadership to the team at Federal Way Public Schools for the 26-27 school year. These administrators have chosen Federal Way Public Schools to offer their experiences, talents, and leadership expertise. I'm pleased to share the appointment of the Assistant Principal of Kylo Middle School. Maggie Mattmiller has been appointed Assistant Principal of Kylo Middle School for the 26-27 school year. She most recently served as Assistant Principal at Roosevelt High School in Seattle Public Schools, where she supported multiple academic departments, led school improvement efforts, and helped ensure students had access to the resources and supports needed to succeed. Prior to that, she served in several special education and educator support roles, including special education teacher, special education program specialist, and consulting teacher across Seattle Public Schools. Maggie earned a Master of Education in Educational Leadership and Policy from the University of Washington and has a Bachelor of Science in Deaf Education and Special Education from Ball State University. Please join me in congratulating Maggie Mattmiller on her new role, and she will now share a few words.
Good morning, Board President Dr. Jennifer Jones and members of the board and Superintendent Dr. Pfeiffer. I'm honored to be joining the Federal Way Public Schools team and appreciate the opportunity to serve in the community I live in. Everyone I've met thus far has been incredibly welcoming and warm, and I know I've landed in the right place to work. I'm excited to work in partnership and collaboration with the amazing team and community here to support strong outcomes for our young people. Thank you.
Next, I'm pleased to share the appointment of the Assistant Principal of Sacagawea Middle School. Ashley Baldwin has been appointed as Assistant Principal of Sacagawea Middle School for the 26-27 school year. She most recently served as a Special Education Program Specialist for Federal Way Public Schools, where she facilitated professional development, collaborated with school teams to ensure appropriate services for students with disabilities, and provided guidance to educators, administrators, and families on special education best practices. Prior to that, she served as a special education teacher with Seattle Public Schools. Ashley holds an Education Administration certification from Central Washington University, a Master of Education in Low Incident Special Education from the University of Washington, and a Bachelor of Arts in Human Development, Early Childhood Development from the University of Washington, along with a Bachelor of Science in Psychology from Washington State University. Please join me in congratulating Ashley on her new role. She will now share a few words.
Good morning, Board President, Dr. Jennifer Jones, member of the board, and Superintendent Dr. Pfeiffer. It is both an honor and a privilege to begin my journey as Assistant Principal at Sacagawea Middle School. I look forward to partnering with our students, staff, and families as we continue to build a positive, inclusive, and successful learning community. Together, we will foster a culture of belonging, high expectations, and continuous growth so that every student can thrive and achieve their fullest potential. Thank you.
Next, I'm pleased to share the appointment of the Assistant Principal for Rainier View Elementary School. Tamika Smith has been appointed as Assistant Principal of Rainier View Elementary School for the 26-27 school year. She most recently completed her administrative internship at Lakeland Elementary here in Federal Way Public Schools, where she supported teacher coaching and evaluation, facilitated professional learning community data cycles, and collaborated with staff and community partners to strengthen student outcomes and school improvement efforts. Prior to that, she held teaching and teacher leadership roles in both Washington and North Carolina. Tamika holds an Educational Leadership Principal Certification from City University, a Master of Science in Elementary Education from Fayetteville State University, a Master of Science in Human Services Public Administration from Capella University, and a Bachelor of Arts in History from Fayetteville State University. Please join me in congratulating Tamika Smith on her new role. She will now share a few words.
Good morning, Board President, Dr. Jennifer Jones, members of the board, and Superintendent Dr. Pfeiffer. It is an honor to join the Rainier View Elementary community as Assistant Principal. I am committed to partnering with students, families, and staff to build a culture of belonging, high expectations, and equitable opportunities where every scholar is seen, valued, challenged, and empowered to achieve at high levels. I look forward to leading with courage, compassion, and unwavering belief in the potential of every child. Thank you.
And now I am pleased to share the appointment of Assistant Principal for Sequoia Middle School. Nia Edwards has been appointed as Assistant Principal of Sequoia Middle School for the 26-27 school year. She most recently served as an administrative intern with Federal Way Public Schools, where she supports school operation, instructional improvement efforts, and data-informed practices to strengthen student outcomes and school-wide systems. In addition, she served as a social-emotional learning facilitator in the Office of Equity and Scholar Success. She recently completed the Educational Leadership Program and Principal Certification Program through City University and holds a Master of Arts in Teaching, Secondary Education from Goucher College and a Bachelor of Arts in Spanish and International Relations from Towson University. Please join me in congratulating Nia on her new role, and she will now share a few words.
Okay, good morning, Board President, Dr. Jennifer Jones, members of the board, and Superintendent Dr. Pfeiffer. I'm excited to continue serving the students, families, and educators of Federal Way Public Schools in my new role as Assistant Principal at Sequoia Middle School. And I'm looking forward to building on the district's commitment to equity by fostering a school community where every student experiences belonging, high expectations, and the support they need to thrive. I'm grateful for the opportunity to continue my work in this district that is deeply committed to the success of every learner. Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the budget presentation. Dr. Pfeiffer.
Thank you, Dr. Jones, board team. First of all, again, it's really nice to see everyone here physically and those board members that are able to join us online. I hope really that you've been enjoying a few days of summer. For us, as you know, most of us take a few days off at the end of June or the beginning of July, but for our operations teams, that's our HR, our maintenance, and our IT teams, the summer months is really where the heavy lifting happens and the most in-depth work. So we've been regularly providing budget updates over the course of the last several years, given the changing landscape with funding in public education, and today is no different. So I've asked our Chief Finance Officer, Rob Bryant, to provide an update on the work that they've been doing throughout this summer in preparation for our budget adoption in August. So with nothing further, I'm going to hand it over to Rob.
Thank you, Dr. Pfeiffer. Good morning, Board President Dr. Jones, members of the board, and Superintendent Dr. Pfeiffer. I am pleased to share a July budget update with you today. The purpose of today's presentation is to review the budget updates previously provided to the board and preview the budget discussions still to come, to provide an update on the budget team's progress and outline the remaining work leading to the budget adoption, to briefly review the updated summaries of the other funds of the district and provide a status update on the general fund budget preparation, to present an updated projection of the district's 25-26 year-end fund balance, and conclude with a review of the timeline and statutory requirements for budget adoption. As a reminder, the goals outlined in the strategic plan are the major drivers in identifying continuing and new initiatives, including the focus priorities. And in addition, the district budget is a central component of Executive Limitation 3, Financial and Asset Protection. In August, the board will adopt 5 different budgets for each of our funds for the 26-27 fiscal year. The board's action of adopting a budget, in effect, sets the maximum expenditure authority for the district in each of those funds. Once the budget is adopted, unless it is revised through a public hearing, the maximum expenditure amount cannot be exceeded even if new sources of revenue exist. As a reminder, the board received a series of budget presentations over the past year to ensure that you remain informed about the district's financial position and the development of the 26-27 budget. These presentations have included the adoption of the 25-26 budget, enrollment updates, a mid-year general fund budget update, regular legislative updates, and in June, a preliminary presentation of the 26-27 budget. And at the June board meeting and work study, we also reviewed the superintendent's focus priorities and recommended financial plan for the upcoming year. Looking ahead, we will continue to provide opportunities for board members to review, ask questions, and gain a deeper understanding of the proposed budget. This includes individual one-on-one and two-on-one meetings with board members to walk through each component of the budget in greater detail. And then finally, we will conclude with the budget development process with a required public hearing and budget adoption on August 25th. Since June, the budget staff have been continuing to refine the budget using updated revenue, expenditure, and staffing information. We've been working diligently to finalize budgets for each of the funds, update our ending fund balance projections, reconcile departmental and staffing allocations, and we are currently finalizing numbers and preparing the final budget adoption documents. This work helps ensure that the budget that is presented for adoption reflects the most accurate financial information and remains aligned with district priorities. Over the next several slides, we will review summary highlights of the budgets for the district's funds, inclusive of the general fund, associated student body fund, transportation vehicle fund, capital projects fund, and the debt service fund. For the general fund, while we have made significant progress since our June budget update, the work continues to be able to finalize the proposed budget. The budget team is completing the final reconciliation of revenues, expenditures, enrollment, and staffing assumptions to ensure that the proposed budget accurately reflects the district's current financial position, that it also aligns with the superintendent's priorities and incorporates the most current information available before we get to budget adoption. The Associated Student Body Fund supports student activities like athletics, clubs, and cultural and social extracurricular opportunities. The activities that are covered by this budget are student-driven and funded through student-generated revenue. The amounts in the ASB budget reflect planned activity levels that each of the schools have identified for the upcoming year. Preliminarily, we are planning for a budgeted beginning fund balance of $1 million, budgeted revenues of $2.95 million, budgeted expenditures of $3.23 million, and an ending fund balance of $720,000. The Transportation Vehicle Fund is a separate governmental fund that exists specifically to acquire and maintain pupil transportation vehicles, school buses, and other qualifying vehicles. This budget reflects our planned bus replacement cycle, which will include the purchase of 10 Class D 78 passenger buses and 4 Class A 24 passenger buses. The buses that we expected to be delivered prior to August 31st are now not expected until September. So the budgeted expenditures are now reflecting the additional budget authority, allowing us to account for those for the complete 10 total Class 78 passenger buses and the 4 Class A 24 passenger buses. And so for this fund, we are planning for a beginning fund balance of $3.267 million, budgeted revenues of $1.8 million, budgeted expenditures of $3.767 million, and a budgeted ending fund balance of $1.3 million. The Capital Projects Fund supports construction, major improvements, and technology investments. The fund accounts for long-term investments, the technology levy, capital construction projects, state school construction assistance program funding, school impact fees, and contingency. For the Capital Projects Fund budget, we are planning for a budgeted beginning fund balance of $39,047,000, budgeted revenues of $13.582 million, budgeted expenditures and transfers of $48.362 million, and a budgeted ending fund balance of $4.267 million. And the debt service is established to account for the collection of tax revenues and then the corresponding payment of principal and interest on our voted and non-voted debt. Revenues and expenditures are aligned with levy collections and scheduled debt payments. For the debt service fund, we are planning for a budgeted beginning fund balance of $13.225 million, budgeted revenues and transfers of $31.362 million, budgeted principal and interest expenditures of $30.731 million, and a budgeted ending fund balance of $13.856 million. Returning to the general fund, this slide reflects the 25-26 budget and the current estimated actuals for the 25-26 year. And this is for where we think the fund balance will be once the 25-26 fiscal year wraps up. The one thing that is important to note that the actuals for 25-26 are truly best estimates at this time. And those numbers will not be finalized until the books are closed for the fiscal year, which really does not occur until late October. As of today, we are estimating an actual fund balance drawdown of $5.6 million. This chart, which you are familiar with, illustrates the district's historical general fund revenues and expenditures and highlights the primary financial challenge that we continue to face. For several years, expenditures have exceeded revenues, requiring the district to rely on fund balance to support ongoing operations. While prudent use of fund balance can help manage short-term financial pressures, it is not a sustainable long-term strategy. Based on our current projections, we anticipate additional fund balance drawdowns in both 25-26 and 26-27, reflecting the continued structural imbalance between the recurring revenues and expenditures. And looking ahead, maintaining the district's long-term financial stability will require continued expenditure management, thoughtful prioritization of resources, and efforts to identify and secure additional revenue where possible. The challenge that's discussed, that I just discussed on the previous slide, is not the result of a single factor. Rather, it reflects the cumulative impact of several long-term financial pressures that continue to affect the district. In summary, revenue challenges persist as enrollment declines, local effort assistance funding remains uncertain, and state funding formulas do not fully reflect the district's actual cost and needs. Expenditures continue to grow faster than revenues due to inflationary pressures, negotiated compensation commitments, and increasing insurance and other operating costs. And state funding gaps remain significant, particularly in special education, transportation, and material supplies and operating costs, which require the district to use local resources to support programs that are not fully funded by the state. When considered together, these ongoing revenue challenges, expenditure pressures, and state funding shortfalls create a structural imbalance between the revenues and expenditures. And addressing that imbalance will require a combination of expenditures, reductions, strategic resource allocation, and sustained advocacy for adequate and equitable state funding. So while those challenges are real, the district has taken deliberate steps over the past several years to maintain financial stability while protecting student services. These steps have included reducing central office and operational costs by approximately $13 million over the past 3 years, aligning staffing levels with enrollment primarily through attrition, using reserves strategically to avoid more significant impacts to students and schools, closely managing our hiring, vacancies, and discretionary spending, pursuing grants and one-time funding when possible, advocating for more equitable and adequate state funding, and maintaining a long-range planning approach to address future budget challenges. These efforts have helped position the district to manage current challenges while maintaining our focus on students and academic outcomes. This presentation provides the most current information available. For next steps, we will be continuing to refine and finalize our budgets in preparation for the upcoming one-on-one and two-on-one meetings with board members, as well as the public hearing and the formal budget adoption on August 25th. And that concludes the presentation.
Thank you for that presentation. Board members, are there any questions?
Comments. So of course, I'm looking forward to the one-on-one, two-on-ones. More I see it, the more I can get it. But what sticks out for me is that as long as I've been on the board, we still have these same challenges. And it seems like no matter what we go out to our representatives, you know, and down to Olympia and ask for and plead for, it just never comes back to us. And so I'm just, you know, with what you were showing on the chart with the drawdowns, it's just, this is incredible that we have to deal with this. We understand that the enrollment is low, and so we don't have, and people aren't having as many kids anymore. And that's a bigger problem because it's just about the economy. Of course, you can't afford it. And so we're doing pretty good, but you can really feel how tight things are. So I just appreciate that the, you know, staff and administration and teachers, they all understand where the funds are coming from, and some that just don't exist. So that's all I'm thinking about right now. Thanks.
Yeah, I agree. It's concerning to see a budget where every fund is running a deficit. I was curious, the capital project fund had a very large deficit. I'm just curious if you could explain why that big difference.
Sure. So obviously a lot of the reason that fund even had funds in it was the passage of the 2017 bond. And so as those projects are wrapping up, we've been continuing to use up that remaining capital. And then the other basic reasons on that we have such a large set of expenditures that are pushing down that fund balance is we have a number of ongoing projects, and we also have significant contingency built into those expenditures for unplanned projects that do come up, and that does happen. That does happen throughout the year.
Great. Well, yeah, I am looking forward to the one-on-ones. Yeah, it's definitely not sustainable to continue 5 years of deficit. And so I'm hopeful, well, that we will get funding that aligns better with the requirements that were given from Olympia. But we definitely need to, we can't continue on this path indefinitely, and so I'm hopeful to see some plans for getting us back onto a balanced budget.
I just have one question, and that has to do with the increase in insurance and operations costs. I understand that the insurance is going to go up substantially, and that doesn't have anything to do with how the district's being managed. It's just, can you just comment on why?
Yes, Dr. Jones. So the district's property and liability insurance, we received a premium increase of about a little less than 49% from 25-26 to 26-27, which is in the millions of dollars, of which we only expected to receive 18% increase, which in itself is a pretty significant jump. And so it wasn't anything district specific that led to that 49%. In fact, districts in the pool, which are somewhere around 100 and some districts, I believe, all received a baseline increase of about that same amount. And then each district had its own little particulars based upon what their specific claims were. And a lot of that had to do with, some really significant claims, which have been rocking the pool itself, the risk pool. A lot of it has to do with, different liability claims that are out there. Some of these just monster tort claims that are receiving huge settlements, in the millions of dollars. And it's just impacted the insurance pool heavily.
Thank you for that. Any other questions or comments from the board? Thank you. We're looking forward to more information later on in August. Next item on the agenda is superintendent comments. Dr. Pfeiffer.
Yes, board team, it's been a bit since our last board meeting. Since we last met, we closed out our 25-26 school year with a number of end-of-year celebrations and recognitions. Of course, the biggest one being 1,564 graduates crossing the stage, each with a clear path for graduation. So an incredibly powerful way to end 25-26. And we are in the process of getting ready to launch 26-27. So this summer, our teams, as I've kind of shared before, have been working to reset and prepare for the new school year. Our IT team and interns are reimaging all of our devices across the district. Our transportation has completed bus repairs and they've passed all of their inspections. Our maintenance and operation has several improvement projects, as you see as you walk up. Our building's getting resealed with our windows, some of which needed to be replaced because they were leaking water. And so AM&O is definitely hard at work, as well as other teams like HR doing the important work of hiring. And so all of these projects are happening concurrently, and I know our teams are working as hard as they possibly can to prepare for the school year. So if you see one of our operational staff, give them a shout out, thank them for their hard work, because I'm certainly proud of everything that they put into making certain that our school year is successful launch. Our team also continues to engage with community at local events. So please be sure to stop off and visit us at the farmers market happening. We're there most Saturdays. You might not see us in the main portion of the market. For some reason, they have us up by the food trucks, but people like to eat at the farmers market. So we get traffic up there, but we're there. We will also be at the Federal Way Community Festival on August 8th to connect with our current and prospective families and to share information about our district and provide enrollment and guidance. So we're looking forward to continuing those opportunities to connect with our greater school community. If you've been out and about in Federal Way, you've noticed probably our Fred bus. It's going strong. And just a reminder that children from birth to 18 years of age receive free meals through the Fred bus and summer meals program. Though many of the sites end service at the end of July, a selection will continue providing nutritious meals all the way through August 19th. So be sure to check out the schedule. If you know of a family that would like to take advantage of that, please point them in the direction of our website. We have all the information. Last week, we wrapped up our high school and music camp summer learning opportunities. Okay, so while we were concentrating on academics, credit recovery, as well as the ability for students to earn credits, something that stands out for me are two things. First of all, our gardening projects in which students learned about gardening, even helped harvest and process garden food from the garden at the high school level. But a real standout feature was our music camps. Students participated in intensive 2- and 3-week programs sharpening their instrumental talents. The camps culminated with concerts last week. I was able to go and see our drum line in action, as well as our Keys to Change Symphony South. And it was just an absolutely incredible performances, watching the brilliant musicians on display at Thomas Jefferson High School. So I'm looking forward to continuing, even in a tight budget, trying to really try to think about how do we continue to expand opportunities and programs like this for our students, because they're so important. And then tomorrow we're going to end the Discover Work Summer Camp for our grades K through 7. And I'm proud of all that we're able to accomplish this summer. We went from half days of summer school to full days, 16 days to 22 days, and we strengthened our academic focus in both math and ELA, as well as enrichment opportunities. As I buzzed around summer school, they were in the process of doing all of their post-summer school assessments. So we'll get some really good data on how students have gained or sustained academics so that they're not experiencing that summer slide. And as summer learning is about to wrap up, we're entering the season of 26-27 launch, and that's filled with professional development, and that starts tomorrow for us with our Learning Improvement Officer retreat, and then we followed on Thursday with our TFL retreat. And then we go into August, we have our leadership retreat, our principals retreat, our 4+1 day, our institute, our welcome to new staff to Federal Way Public Schools. So just a lot of things happening in the month of August, and we are excited. So I also want to just remind everybody that online enrollment and annual verification, it opens on August 1st. If you know someone with a school-age child in our district, please help spread the word, make certain that they get enrolled or they do that verification online. And if they're interested in a dual language program, I would love to welcome them in to our opportunities, which is our Spanish dual language program, as well as our dual language Korean program at OLV. So good stuff happening. It's nice to see all of your faces, and that wraps it up for me.
Thank you, Superintendent. Next item on the agenda is school board comments. Director Gollings.
Yes, well, yeah, that was my first graduation on the school board. That was a really great experience to shake at least half of those 1,500 students' hands and see them moving on ahead. Looking forward to another school year, and honestly, I'm looking forward to the budget process. I want to take a look at what we are doing to meet the needs of the students we have with the resources we have. And I think this is, I appreciate the work of boards past that have ensured that we have a financial cushion, but I want to make sure that we're being the same good stewards to future boards to make sure that that we're ready in case things are hard in the future. So looking forward to digging into the budget, and I actually hopefully I can get out to some of these events, community events to talk to families. So yeah, really excited for the new school year to come.
Thank you. Director Phillips.
Nothing for me today, but it's good to see everybody.
Okay, thank you. Vice President Davis.
As I've said before, this Federal Way School District is truly a community center. They do everything. They're the YMCA, they're the community center. You do it all. And it's almost like, it's miraculous. It's the whole 2 fish and 4 loaves of bread scenario. That's how it seems that we can still keep doing these things. But like you said, how are we going to continue? That's the scary part. And welcome to the new staff. I think they've already left out. And it's good to see everyone back, but it seems like it's so fast, like I was saying to you just a little bit ago. It's like, good grief, we just saw you, and now you're supposed to be on a little break, but glad to see everybody's faces, and hopefully you had a wonderful time off.
Thank you. Director Murphy. I just wanted to also mention how incredible the graduation events were. It was 2 days of just amazing celebration of our young people moving on in their lives, and it's just always a high point of the year for everyone. Really enjoyed that. And I wanted to mention the summer programming that's been going on. Very busy. The schools have been where the programs have been going on. It's as busy as it is during the regular school year. The young people are out and about and doing activities and learning and It's really not like summer school when we were young. This is real activities and organized, and 6 hours a day of instruction and recess and just, the whole program is just quite amazing and impressive. And I wanted to mention the orchestra, the symphony and the drumline event. I saw that online. Boy, those young people are amazing, and the adults who worked with them are also amazing. I want to mention that you can't do this without the skilled and dedicated support of the adult, professionals who were interacting with those young people. And it was just really impressive to see that Federal Way, as you said, is just moving and progressing and doing incredible things for our young people. And do we have any? Okay, and with that, we are adjourned.